Why would a woman choose to walk away from a man who does everything right? Sometimes she ends up with someone who objectively offers her less. That uncomfortable truth, it has nothing to do with effort. It comes down to 7 unmet psychological needs she may not even know she has. That's why you hear phrases like, "I've lost a feeling," or "something is missing." She's trying to say these 7 needs aren't being fulfilled. And here's the difficult part. The next man often meets them without even trying. Today, you'll learn what they are, how to spot the signs she's searching for them, and how to become the man who fulfills them authentically. When you understand the 7th one, everything clicks. Why some men are pursued endlessly, while others are ignored. But before we go further, let's be clear. I didn't create these rules. I'm just revealing the existing game. These psychological drivers are real. They work. And other men are already using them, perhaps with women you desire. The key difference? I will show you how to meet these needs with integrity, not games. To forge real bonds, not break them. If you plan to use this to manipulate, stop watching now. If you're still here, we understand each other. Let's begin. Need 1. She needs to feel craved, not just cared for. This is where good men often stumble. They confuse affection with passion. They say, "I love you." They are generous, steady, and loyal. But they fail at one critical thing. They don't make her feel intensely wanted. Affection builds security. Passion builds fire. You need both, but the fire must ignite first. When a woman feels adored, she feels stable. When she feels desired, she feels powerful and alive. Without that craving, affection can become mere comfort. And comfort alone won't sustain a spark. So how do you show passionate desire without being crude? First, through your gaze. Don't just look at her politely. Let your eyes appreciate her naturally, her laugh, her grace, her presence. When she catches you, don't instantly glance away. Hold that look for 1 heartbeat longer. That silent pause speaks volumes. Second, through deliberate touch. Not a casual pat, but confident, purposeful contact. A guiding hand on her back as you walk. Pulling her nearer when you speak. That touch says, "I want you close," without a word. Third, through composed honesty. In an ordinary moment, just stop. Look at her and say something straightforward like, "You're making it hard to concentrate right now." Say it calmly, with certainty. Desire from a place of strength pulls her in. Desire from need pushes her away. Remember this distinction. It changes the entire dynamic. Need 2, emotional dynamism. Here's a reality most men never learn, and it transforms how you see attraction. Women don't want emotional monotony. They don't want you to be the same every single day, reacting identically to everything. What they truly want is emotional variety, grounded in a foundation of safety. Listen closely. When a woman can always predict your mood, your words, your reactions, you become reliable, but also invisible. You become comfortable, predictable furniture in her emotional life. Predictability kills excitement, but emotional contrast builds intrigue. When your emotions have a natural flow, when you're playful sometimes, serious others, focused and relaxed, her mind stays active. She pays attention because she can't completely figure you out. The human brain is drawn to what it can't easily decipher. This doesn't mean being volatile or cold. It means being a dynamic, fully alive human. Here's how to apply this correctly. Rule 1. Vary your presence naturally. Some days be warm, engaged, and full of humor. Other days, be immersed in your work, your mission, your own world. You're still responsive, but with less outward emotional energy. Not because you're upset, but because your purpose doesn't pause for anyone. This shows balance, not indifference. Rule 2. Switch between depth and play. One conversation explores dreams and values. The next is light, teasing, and fun. This contrast prevents everything from feeling stagnant. She never gets stuck on one emotional track. Rule 3. Offer occasional, not constant, surprise. An unplanned outing. A candid thought she didn't expect. A confident choice made without committee. These moments break routine and create emotional highlights she remembers. Mystery grabs attention. Attention fosters connection. When your emotional eye has movement, her interest remains because her mind is engaged with you. Need 3. Mental engagement. One of the quickest ways to kill attraction is constant agreement. A man who nods along to everything a woman says might seem polite initially, but he quickly becomes forgettable. If you never challenge her, never offer a different viewpoint, you don't seem kind. You seem blank. Men who always say yes are easy to overlook. Why? Because attraction isn't built on approval. It's built on presence, character, and strength of mind. When you respectfully question a woman's ideas, something shifts in her psychology. Her awareness heightens. She starts focusing on you. Not because you're arguing, but because you're demonstrating you have your own mind. She senses 3 things immediately. First, she senses your spine. You won't bend just to please her. You're unafraid to differ. That signals strength. Second, she senses your autonomy. Your self-worth isn't tied to her agreement. Your thoughts exist with or without her validation. Third, she senses your solid identity. You stand for something. You have principles and perspectives that are your own. This builds respect. And respect is a cornerstone of true attraction. Intellectual challenge doesn't mean being combative, rude, or trying to win. That destroys connection. The goal isn't domination. The goal is confident self-expression. When she says something you disagree with, don't stay quiet out of fear. State your view calmly. You can say, I see it differently, or I have another take on that. Say it peacefully, without anger, without needing her to adopt it. The power isn't in convincing her. The power is in standing your ground calmly. When you disagree without tension, you prove your security. Many men fear disagreement, will push a woman away. In truth, respectful debate often draws her closer. It tells her she's with a man who can't be easily shaped or controlled. That sparks curiosity. She engages more. She explains her thinking. She tests your views. A simple talk becomes mental stimulation, and that is deeply attractive. A woman doesn't want a mirror reflecting only her thoughts. She wants a partner who challenges and expands her worldview, someone who makes her think. When you stand in your truth without hostility, you become unforgettable. Remember this. You're not here to win debates. You're here to be who you are. Respect grows from healthy friction. Attraction grows from respect. A man who can calmly say, I disagree, without fear is a man who naturally earns attention. Need 4. Unspoken chemistry. This need is widely misunderstood. It's not about sex acts. It's not constant physical contact or inappropriate comments. Chemistry is something quieter and deeper. It's an invisible energy flow between 2 people. Even when discussing mundane topics, work, life, the weather, there should be a subtle undercurrent. We are drawn to each other, and we both know it. This energy separates a man she has sparks with from a man who feels like just a friend. Without it, interactions become flat, safe, and boring. With it, even silence feels electric. So how do you cultivate and keep it? Not just with words, but with presence. First, eye contact. Most men either avoid it or overdo it. You don't want a tense stare or a nervous glance away. Aim for calm, steady attention. When she speaks, truly watch her. Not just her eyes, but her expressions. And sometimes, when she finishes a sentence, don't reply immediately. Hold her gaze for 1 extra second. That pause builds awareness. It builds tension. Second, proximity. Distance speaks. Standing too far feels detached. Too close feels invasive. The right space fosters intimacy. When you're near her, let it feel organic. Let your arms almost brush. Let your presence be felt without forcing it. You don't need constant contact, just closeness. Third, your voice. Chemistry lives in how you speak, not what you say. Slow your speech a little. Soften your volume in personal moments. A calm, measured tone communicates confidence. Confidence builds attraction. Fourth, pauses. Silence holds power. You don't need to fill every gap with chatter. Sometimes, after she says something meaningful or playful, just pause. Offer a slight smile. Let the feeling linger. Those pauses let emotions rise. Fifth, touch. Minimal and intentional. Touch should never feel hurried. A light hand on her arm to emphasize a point. A guiding touch in a crowd. Brief, natural contact that feels planned by instinct, not anxiety. One intentional touch outweighs 10 nervous ones. Why does this matter? When chemistry is present, her mind stays locked on the moment. She isn't just hearing your words. She's feeling the interaction. Her body becomes aware of you. Her focus sharpens. She may not label it chemistry, but she feels it. And when you blend this energy with mental engagement, when you stimulate her thoughts while maintaining this quiet pull, you become impossible to forget. You're not just a nice guy or the smart guy. You're the man who makes her feel something. And that feeling is rare. That's why this unspoken chemistry isn't optional. It's essential. Without it, attraction dims. With it, connection intensifies. And when it exists naturally, everything else follows more smoothly. Need 5. Your independent value. One of attraction's most potent forces is letting a woman sense she could actually lose you. I don't mean threats, mind games, or cruelty. I mean demonstrating through your life and actions that you are whole, fulfilled, and complete on your own. You have your own direction, ambitions, and purpose. While she is in your life, she isn't your entire world. Most men err by orbiting their entire existence around the woman they like. They ditch friends, abandon passions, sidelining goals, all to be perpetually available. At first, this might seem to win her over. She may feel special briefly. But over time, this behavior whispers something powerful and damaging, that you need her more than you need your own identity, that you wouldn't be okay without her, and that neediness can erode attraction faster than almost anything else. Women are instinctively drawn to men with independence, men who have their own lives, aims, and interests, men who are emotionally self-reliant. When a man shows he has his own fulfillment, that he is content and confident with or without her, being with him becomes a choice she values, not an entitlement she assumes. She starts to see that your presence is a privilege, not a given. That's where attraction deepens. Self-sufficiency isn't aloofness or coldness. It doesn't mean neglecting her needs or refusing to invest. It means maintaining balance. Keep pursuing your career, hobbies, health goals, and friendships. Have passions that energize you. Build adventures that thrill you. When you live a full, independent life, it naturally communicates confidence and strength. Nothing is more attractive than a man who has himself together without depending on her for completeness. When she sees you are emotionally stable and autonomous, she feels a subtle magnetic pull. She senses that if she doesn't appreciate you, you won't collapse. You aren't desperate. You aren't begging. You are choosing her because you want her, not because you need her to survive. And that choice, that calm assurance, is incredibly compelling. It makes her feel she must contribute, invest, and earn your attention, knowing you won't accept less than mutual respect. Desperation, conversely, repels. Men who act clingy, needy, or constantly seek reassurance create pressure and boredom. A woman senses when a man's happiness hinges on her. No matter his looks, wealth, or kindness, neediness pushes her away. When your world revolves around her validation, she loses the excitement, mystery, and challenge that fuel desire. On the other hand, when you show you are self-sufficient, confident, and living completely, you amplify attraction exponentially. You send a clear message. She is a choice, not a necessity. Being with you is special because she joins someone already full, thriving, and independent. This doesn't mean ignoring her, being arrogant, or withholding affection. It means you are the man who built his foundation first. You are emotionally centered, strong, and capable. And your attention toward her is a gift, not a need. Being complete without her doesn't make you cold. It makes you magnetic. It makes her cherish your presence more. It makes her want to participate, engage, and be part of your life meaningfully. She begins to see you as someone irreplaceable. This is one of the most powerful psychological triggers in attraction. When a woman feels she could lose you, she invests emotionally in ways she wouldn't if she felt totally secure. Ultimately, this need is about equilibrium. You can love her, enjoy her company, and give her attention, but never at the expense of your own life, mission, or happiness. Your independence is your power. Your fulfillment is your magnet. The man who can live fully, freely, and confidently alone is the man who becomes genuinely irresistible. Need 6. Quiet command. Quiet command is a profoundly attractive quality, and it works differently than many assume. People often mistake leadership for being controlling, bossy, or overtly dominant. That's not it. True leadership isn't loud or aggressive. It doesn't force obedience. Instead, it's about being certain, confident, and calm in your actions, choices, and sheer presence. When you demonstrate quiet command, it makes her feel safe, at ease, and looked after. And that is deeply appealing on a subconscious level. This form of leadership stems from certainty. It comes from knowing what you want, where you're headed, and being comfortable in your own skin. You don't need to yell, argue, or dominate discussions. Instead, you gently steer situations and take initiative naturally. You make decisions, plan ahead, and handle matters without endless deliberation or seeking permission. Women notice this. They feel it. They sense they can trust you to lead when it counts. That trust builds both comfort and attraction. Think of it this way. When a man is perpetually unsure, always asking for input on tiny choices, or hesitating constantly, it signals insecurity. It signals he isn't capable of handling life with assurance. That energy is stressful and unappealing. Women don't want to manage your life. They want a partner who can navigate challenges, make decisions, and move forward without constant validation. That's what quiet command provides. It shows in simple, daily actions. It's choosing the restaurant for a date instead of leaving every decision to her. It's planning an evening without repeatedly checking for approval. It's how you handle problems. Not overreacting, not panicking, but calmly solving and advancing. It's also in your body language. Standing tall, speaking clearly, moving with purpose. All these small details broadcast one big message. You are in command of your life, and she can depend on you. Another crucial aspect is taking initiative without aggression. For instance, at a restaurant or event, guiding her subtly, offering your hand, leading through a crowd, deciding when to leave, communicates confidence. You don't need to announce it. Subtlety is key. Leadership that's too obvious feels controlling. Leadership that's quiet, consistent, and natural is magnetic. Quiet command lets a woman relax into her feminine energy. When a man is hesitant, uncertain, or reactive, a woman subconsciously shoulders the mental load of planning and deciding. That creates stress and diminishes attraction. But when you take the lead calmly and confidently, she can unwind. She can be in the moment, be playful, be emotional, and show her true self without worry. That relaxation, trust, and ease are incredibly attractive. This command isn't about ego, arrogance, or imposing your will. It's about responsibility, confidence, and emotional control. A man with quiet command handles himself and his environment with grace, decides without hesitation, and gently guides situations toward good outcomes. Women are instinctively pulled to this energy because it signals safety, stability, and strength, all essential for lasting attraction. Ultimately, quiet command is about showing you are capable, reliable, and confident without being overbearing. It's about steering things naturally, giving her space to feel feminine and at ease, and creating an environment where she can fully enjoy being with you. When a man masters this, he is seen as valuable, rare, and magnetic. The kind of man women deeply want to connect with. This is why quiet command isn't optional. It's a pillar of attraction. It's how you silently communicate competence, strength, and confidence without uttering a word. Combined with the other needs, you craft a presence that is memorable, magnetic, and powerfully attractive. The kind women notice, remember, and feel drawn to. Need 7. Earned recognition. Earned recognition is a crucial, often misunderstood tool in human connection and attraction. Many men mistakenly believe that constant praise and approval will make a woman feel loved and increase her interest. The truth? Unlimited praise loses its value. When everything is met with "you're amazing" or "that's perfect," it becomes ordinary. It becomes expected. And once expected, it loses impact. What was meant to make her feel special becomes background noise. That's why earned recognition is vital. It means giving approval and praise only when it's truly warranted, when it's earned, meaningful, and sincere. This isn't about withholding basic kindness or respect. It's about understanding that your validation is valuable, and when given thoughtfully, it creates real emotional resonance. Think about it. In life, Rarity creates value. Gold is precious because it's scarce. Water is essential, but where it's abundant, we take it for granted. The same principle applies in relationships. If you give validation freely and constantly, it becomes abundant and thus less meaningful. But if your praise is selective, it becomes something she must earn. This isn't manipulation. It's a way to maintain self-respect while showing you notice and appreciate genuine effort, intelligence, or achievement. So, how do you practice this? First, pay attention when she does something truly impressive, clever, or meaningful. It could be how she solved a problem, articulated an idea, or accomplished a personal goal. When you see this, offer your recognition in a direct, thoughtful way. Say something like, "I genuinely admire how you handle that," or "That showed real insight. I'm impressed." Statements like these communicate that your praise isn't automatic. It's earned. It has weight. When she hears this, she feels seen in a profound, authentic way. She understands her qualities matter to you, and your opinion carries significance. Simultaneously, learn to stay neutral when she seeks superficial validation. Often, people fish for approval on minor, surface-level things. For example, she might ask, "Does this look good?" or "Do you like this thought?" In these moments, it's fine to respond politely but without excessive enthusiasm. A neutral reply like, "It looks nice," or "That's an idea," communicates that your highest praise is reserved for what truly deserves it. This helps her understand your approval is a value commodity, not an endless resource. The core idea is scarcity. Humans naturally crave what is rare. When recognition is rare, it becomes precious. When your approval is precious, she values it deeply. She'll start to notice what earns it. She'll respect your judgment because it isn't given lightly. It also encourages her to bring her best self forward, not to endlessly seek approval, but because she knows genuine merit will be noticed and meaningfully appreciated. Earned recognition also reinforces your own self-respect. By not praising automatically, you uphold your boundaries and standards. You aren't constantly trying to please her or win her approval. Instead, you are confident in your own worth. That confidence is inherently attractive. People respect someone with clear boundaries who values their own judgment. In summary, earned recognition is about offering praise and acknowledgement thoughtfully, intentionally, and sparingly. It's about noticing real effort and accomplishment and responding in a way that shows your approval has value. It's about avoiding automatic praise for everything, which dulls its effect. By doing this, you create a dynamic where your words carry meaning. She will notice, respect it, and naturally feel more drawn to you because she understands the sincerity and significance behind what you say. Remember, what is rare is valued. What is valued is pursued. When you master earned recognition, you become a man whose attention and approval matter. You become someone respected, appreciated, and remembered. It's not about games. It's about clarity, integrity, and understanding human nature. Done right, this skill can transform how she experiences you, values your presence, and deepens a connection. Those are the 7 needs. To feel craved, emotional dynamism, mental engagement, unspoken chemistry, your independent value, quiet command, and earned recognition. Fulfill all 7, and you set the standard she measures others by. But remember, strength without ethics ruins. Insight without integrity corrupts. Use this to build genuine bonds, not shallow victories. In the comments, tell me which need you believe is most crucial. And if this shifted your perspective on attraction, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because understanding psychology is one thing, but becoming a man who naturally lives it, that is true power. We'll dive deeper next time. If this added value to your life, show your support. Please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought.